Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Frequency shift. Yes. What a way to close out the year. Yes.
I'm excited.
I'm,
Round two.
yes, round two. But today, this is episode one. And we have two episodes for you today. This first one, thank you so much to Franck Martin of Peachymango for opening his platform and just showing how welcoming all of our synth family and community, how we love to be all inclusive and to celebrate it by let's do another frequency shift on his channel. The second episode will be on the SoCal Synth Society's YouTube channel, and that will start at 5 o'clock this evening as well. But without further ado, my name is Travarsi, and please welcome my hosts here tonight or tonight for some of you probably, right? I have Chantal. Go ahead, say hello.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. I was a performer last time on Frequency Shift, so I'm really, really honored to be able to be a moderator this time and get to ask questions because I'm fascinated by everyone who's performing today. I'm super excited to get to ask them a little bit about their process too after their performance.
So cool. And I have Calatrix.
Hello again. I was one of the moderators last time and it was so much fun. I'm very excited to be back and to get a chance to chat with some more amazing artists.
And don't forget, you're playing the second
I am playing. I always forget to talk about what I'm playing. But yeah, I'm playing in the next round.
Yes.
Part 2. Stay tuned.
Yes. And we have another host joining us too, which is Space Racer. Some of you know and love her, so it's gonna be awesome.
She'll be joining. She gets back from Mars. She'll be
landing. She'll be landing soon. So, all right, Len. Let's get started. We're gonna kick off the day with GT Thomas. So let's do it.
Amsterdam-based recording and performing artist GT Thomas is a one-woman show, self-producing recordings for 15 years and performing live as a solo act on bass, synth, drum machine, and voice. Simultaneously, no computers, no backing tracks, no looping pedals. From time to time, she pulls out her semi-modular synth, creating moods ranging from meditative minimalist excursions. I enjoy slow entertainment, says Thomas, and for me, synthesis is an awesome playground for pushing those limits. Next to her love of doing all ranges of things by herself, she does enjoy, sorry, some of it's cut off.
But without further ado, let's get into her set and then we'll have a chance to talk to her. So it'll be awesome. That was awesome.
That was
Thank
excellent.
you.
Yeah.
It was a
Thank
very
you
chill
so
groove.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
I
Yeah.
really enjoyed how the layers it kind of started to unfold, like each layer would kind of sneak in and then like would blossom slowly because of the groove.
Yes,
That is a nice way to put it. Thank you.
that's what
So
I was doing, layering and building in my notes too.
Awesome. Yeah, I have like an arranger's background, so it's a natural part of the wiring of my brain to think that way.
That's very valuable. It's like it's nice hearing something that's got very deliberate and reserved. If that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
Do you want to talk about what you were kind of talk us through your performance? Like talk us through it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting because usually when I do a synth performance, I come at it with like kind of a composition in mind, and then I know it's never going to be the same twice, but I often will practice it, and so that I know I'm going to hit like moments that at certain times, and like so that I know I'm going to build it in the right order and not like peak too soon and those kinds of things. But lately I've been trying to pull back from that a little bit and just really taking advantage of my time with synthesis as a place to be more improvisational and let go of that grip. So this is actually the first time that I ever submitted something that was done in a single take. I didn't practice it beforehand. I think I made sure I was like knew what key I was in on the bass before I started, but I also am not like a big improviser on the bass. So this was all very brand new for me to come at this one from this way. But what I was really excited about afterwards was like that build, the layering, and then like getting to a spot kind of at the golden ratio, and then like kind of wrapping things up at the right pace at the end was very natural for me. So I think I've at this point kind of internalized it, which is very rewarding to feel.
Yeah, it didn't sound like it was a first take at all. It sounded very like it did sound very practiced and very natural.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yes, like it had. I feel like as you're saying, with your arranger background, I'm sure it's like you have that naturally, like you feel when you need to make the change or
Yeah.
or take something away. So it obviously showed in this patch those skills.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was very cool. I like it.
And I love hearing that because I actually was thinking of a question while you were playing. Like, I wanted to ask if you had learned anything new while creating the set. So that is so cool to hear that it was like kind of a next level.
Yeah, for me, totally feels next level. It feels like it opens something up for me. Like, I have a little bit more confidence than I mean, every time you perform, you gain confidence most of the time,
Ideally.
unless something goes terribly awry. But even when stuff goes wrong, you should be building confidence at least on the level of like, well, I survived that, so I know I can survive this.
That again.
So yeah,
and that's really cool too to hear that you're still learning things, even though like when I looked through your Instagram and read your bio, I was like, wow, one woman band, like you must just already feel like complete confidence. So to hear that you're like still building on that, it's really cool.
Oh, there's so much to build always. But I do feel like the last 2 years, like I've established a kind of confidence that I never really had before, even though I've been a musician since I was a child and was always in music, but I never understood that thing about how practice builds those muscles as well, and just establishes like a baseline of you've developed like a pattern of proof to yourself every day that you like, oh, what I did yesterday, I'm building on today. And that's something that I started really doing last year in the beginning of 2019 was like practicing every day. So yeah, that's been
Kind of
strange
building
for me
that
as well.
muscle.
Yeah.
I just want to say to everyone in the chat, thanks for joining us. This is Frequency Shift, the first episode. And if you do have any questions for the artists, please feel free to drop them in the chat so we can read them to her. And then, so right now, this is GT Thomas. And we also put their links in the description as well. So you can always refer back to some of their music, especially if you're enjoying it here on the show.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I just wanted to kind of say
That's
that.
great. Thank you. I'd
I
love
have
to
a-
connect with anybody.
Oh, Calatrix, did you have a question or?
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna ask really quick because, like, you mentioned this, your 2020 mission to ask what would happen if you didn't stop where you would have stopped before. Does that tie into like why you decided to try improv here?
Yeah, a little bit. Um, it's interesting because like earlier in the summer, I had a huge deadline coming up for a music video in August, and then I was also asked to do Dutch Modular Festival, and I only had like 2 weeks to put something together for DMF, and I was like, I don't know if I could pull it off, and it was also going to be a recorded thing, and I wanted to try out OBS software for the first time to make something visual out of it as well. And I was talking to a friend who was like, can you just trust that like the you that's like done with the music video can do it in the 2 weeks? And I was like, I've never tried that before. I am going to just not think about it until after. So that was like the first step towards this performance, was like giving myself a chance to just try doing, like I would have stopped before I was said, I don't have enough time in the 2 weeks. So I'm going to say no to the project. But this time I was like, what if I didn't do that? And then so for a frequency shift, a friend had pointed it out, that this was going on, and I sort of had the thought again, like I had a huge live stream coming up. The biggest one that I've ever done was last weekend, and I was like, I mean, their deadline for this was December 5th, and then I had this huge thing on the 12th, and then I was like, use it as practice for the live stream. And it totally was practice for the live stream. It totally served a purpose, and I don't know, it definitely ties in with that. What if I didn't stop in the place that I would have stopped before?
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah.
And I wanted to hear a little bit about your big live stream. Tell us a little bit, what was that?
Yeah, that was a release show thing for a single that came out in October. There was a little delay there on the actual party for it. But that again was me like getting further and further with my knowledge of how to do like an OBS stream with cool lights, and I had like physical props and digital tricks going on, and like the 36 hours before the show, everything went wrong. Everything. I lost my hard drive with all my visuals, like my MIDI controller stopped working, my spotlight died. It was like it was really, really wild. And then I also was fine without any of it and made something really beautiful out of it, which again, confidence builder, you know, even though it didn't go as planned. And I certainly want to do more of those. It was a very large undertaking, but getting into that headspace of like planning different camera angles and getting stuff to pop and having a story that goes throughout a show, that's an area that I would like to spend more time in 2021, hopefully a couple times.
Right,
and you can still catch the replay of that live stream. If you go to my website, there's a replay ticket in the shop.
Okay, we'll drop it's gtthomas.com.
Yes.
Okay, and we'll make sure to include that in the description as well.
Nice.
But yeah, well, I'll definitely want to go back and check that out, because I noticed you were using some visuals in this performance too. I saw the color kind of going over your jacket, like in the second frame. It was very
cool. That was practice. Again, I was like, I can practice my stuff for the next thing. Kind of just discovering that everything can be practice for the next thing.
100%.
Feels so good. Yeah.
There's a question in the chat really quick.
Oh, sure.
Chris Walker asks, do you have a favorite synth that you start from when you create a jam?
That's a good one. It kind of depends what the end result thing is that I'm supposed to be performing for. For this, I definitely want to go with the Mother 32s, like when I'm doing like a synth performance. And then if I'm writing songs, I actually typically have been like a in computer songwriter, but then I like rearrange them for the one woman band rig, and then that usually starts with either finding a groove on the Korg Volca drum, or with my mini log I will set up some kind of sound that vaguely resembles whatever was on the recording. Usually there's kind of a big difference between the recorded and live sound, but yeah, I hope that answers that question.
Do you sequence on the Mother 32s then, or do you sequence somewhere? You sequence right on them?
I do, yeah. For this performance, I was like controlling the tempo through the mini log. That was actually the first time that no, that wasn't the first time I'd done that. Never mind, I take that back. But yes, they were speaking to each other.
or MIDI or something.
Yeah.
Cool. So now, before, let's tell us what the project you're working on right now. It's kind of yeah. Tell us about that.
I am now working on kind of a dream project, which has been developing for a long time. When I guess, what is it now? Like 14 years ago, I started compiling a reading list of authors and titles that I had heard referenced by my musical hero, Donald Fagen from Steely Dan, in interviews. And I have just been keeping that list for a really long time, and I intended to read those books, but I have synesthesia, which makes reading a very slow process, and I just sort of like backed away from it to do other things for many years. But then like the last year I actually got to meet him, and when I met him I realized like I want to do something with that reading list. And I actually like had a conversation with him about like a 1940s sci-fi novel from the list, and so it inspired me that I would write some songs based on these books. And you know, not so secretly in the back of my mind, I'm like, how can I pitch a collaboration on this project with him? I don't know. That's like the dream. That's the dream.
You got to put it out into the universe, and then you never know it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm working on songs for that, and I've been trying to arrange them so I can do some demos in the coming month. Actually, I hope to make some demos. So
very cool. Well, we'll be on the lookout for this magical, you know, music compiled from this list. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm definitely going to go back and check out your last live stream.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. But thank you for coming on the show and being a part of our frequency shift, and what a way to close out 2020. Like,
totally. I'm so glad that I got to be a part of this. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So thanks, GT Thomas. And let's see here. So next up we have well, who do we have next up?
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So next up we have Christy Blizzard, and I'll read their bio, but I just have to say there's so much interesting art going on in this. Well, I don't know, I haven't seen the performance, but I can't wait to ask more questions of Christy Blizzard. But so Christy Blizzard was born in rural Indiana, and they live and work in San Antonio, Texas. They work with sound, performance, 3D animation, video, and sculpture. And were a participant of the Skowhegan in 2018 and attended artist residencies such as MacDowell and Art Pace. Shows include those at the Contemporary Arts Museum, Houston, the School of Visual Arts, Black Mountain College, Good Morning America, the Roswell UFO Convention, I need to hear about that, and the Today Show. They have been featured in Hyperallergic, Art News, Art in America, and New York Arts Magazine. And recent performances include those at Cloaca Projects in San Francisco, Interference Fest in Austin, Texas, and Marfa Myths. For the past 1.5 years, they've been writing a rodeo opera that will be finished in spring of 2021. So can't wait.
That's amazing.
I know, right? That sounds amazing. All right, so without further ado, Christy Blizzard. That was incredible.
That was so much. Loved it.
Yeah. I have so many
Intense.
questions.
I know. I don't even know where to start with that.
Before we get
Come
into that.
back after that, like hard to come back to this. Like, whoa, that was another.
Awesome. I just want to say hello really quick to the new people that are joining into watching the episode. A lot of familiar names out there. Thank you so much for supporting the show. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying it as much as we are.
Yes.
So
Thank you for coming.
what a piece of performance
I
art.
just want to start with that.
Before we get into that. Oh, I think somebody just needs to mute their YouTube. One of us here.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. No worries. No worries.
It happens.
Yeah.
It proves that things are live, that things are really happening.
Yep. It's all good.
Like I said, I was in a zone. I was like transported, and I cannot wait, Christy, to see you perform in real life when we can. Because
Oh
I
yeah.
can't wait to be standing in a space where you're doing that. Like that overwhelmingly was my thought for this.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I have to say, you look like a beautiful Queen Amidala right now, or just amazing. I love it. Can you tell us a little bit about your performance?
Yeah, I mean, I'm basically, mainly a visual artist, so my sound stuff is pretty much self-taught, and I did take violin lessons as an adult, and I was not very good at it, but so, but I felt like I was always called to sound, and I think being a visual artist kind of gave me a lot of freedom with not knowing the rules. And so I try to think of it more as sculpture in a lot of ways, and just trying to shape the sounds. And so basically, I had a series of life events happen in 2015, and I feel like sound is the best way for me to try to kind of reach these other frequencies. And so I view it as a kind of communication that I'm being communicated through.
I love that.
Yeah. And so I just kind of try to find spaces to go with the sound. It's all improv all the time.
Nice.
Can you talk about what you were doing in the case? Because I know there was a lot of, I saw you had like some sort of touch. You had a lot of touch.
Like tactical
yeah,
modules.
Yeah, I do. I've just recently gotten into Eurorax, but I have a couple Sayat Lombard pieces, and I do use the make noise pressure points, and so yeah, I mean, it's again like I just try to I like the tactility of it, and I like things to to be able to modulate. So things I do have a sequencer in there, but I tend to like things that are a little bit more nonlinear, and I can kind of enter and exit, without feeling trapped. And so the touch modules kind of give me that.
You said you were fairly new to Eurorack, because I mean it was awesome. Like,
oh, thank you.
Yeah, like you. I mean, I just like how it had like this dynamic range of kind of crept in and then opened up, kind of did like a sped up, kind of had this intense moment, and then the dynamic kind of came back down. That was my experience with
Yeah, well, I really appreciate it. I mean, I practice every day, and I've been dealing with sound almost every day for 10 years, and so even though I'm new to Eurorack, I find there's something about the electricity that I feel like it's so magical, the way that it's just basically, I do have some digital things in there, but it's mainly analog, and just, the way like the electrical currents move through the different modules, it's just so mesmerizing and so experimental. Like you don't even know, like, I don't even know how it works half the time. And it's just so amazing. Like you can just tweak one little thing and it's all different, It's like worlds in it. It's just worlds that open up. It's like incredible.
Yes, infinite possibilities, as we always say.
Yes, and lots of
Yeah, patches definitely can like take on a whole life of their own.
Yeah. And I've been I find that, getting the Eurorax I feel like it's a good thing because you can, build it and change it. So that's been super exciting.
Very cool.
So I read a little bit in your artist statement about the 3D printed masks,
Oh, yes.
and I wanted to invite you to talk a little more about that, that them being death masks and why Elle Fanning and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, so this is a 3D printed mask of Scarlett Johansson, and I am, a performance artist also, with not only with sound but movement and stuff. So this is part of my work, and so basically I started this in 2017, so it hasn't been that long. But this mask I've had, and it's like broken, and I've made casts of it and stuff, and some duplicates. But basically, like, I wear these masks because I feel like this is like the filter that I have to be seen through, or it's like the filter that silences the artist.
Mm.
The filter of like beauty or glamour or whatever, like the real artist, it's like the world isn't made for the artist. And so I feel like and just in the way that it's printed, it becomes a kind of death mask. Like I'm really interested in that Egyptian practice of conserving the dead. And so for me, I feel like what I try to do in the sound is to pass through the death dimension. And so and it happens rarely, but that's my goal. And so trying to use different frequencies to penetrate that, to communicate with either things that are beyond death or those that have died.
Incredible. I also I have so many questions too, and could talk about that all day, but I wanted to ask a little too about and this ties from that, but the body as a site of resistance.
Yeah, so I was, I grew up very bullied as a child. I mean, I was probably bullied from age 4 to 15, not all the time, but I figured out how to get around that. And so I had a lot of shame, in my body, and just, whatever. A lot of people do. And so, but what I realized is that my body is a site of power, and everything that made me weird is now like what makes me an artist. And so it's everything, that all the failure and the awkwardness and everything that's kind of fucked up is what has really helped to define me as as an individual. And so I find that to be the biggest resistance, the resistance to being homogenized.
There was a question in the chat, and just you may have touched a little bit on it, guess they said the mask gives you freedom.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, I do think I can do things in the mask that I can't do. So then the question would be, does it make me safe, right, as an artist? So, but right now, yes, it does. It gives me freedom.
Nice. I could understand that.
Some ideas here.
I really appreciate this opportunity.
Oh,
we're happy to have you.
I was going to say, I think we can speak for everyone here and in the chat to say we're so happy to have you here, and this has really been incredible.
Oh, thank you. It's an honor. I haven't been able to perform for, since COVID. Mm-hmm. I've done a few little things, but it feels so good to see it live, there's something really special about that. So I really appreciate it.
I hope you can find more venues to perform live.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to do it. It's my passion, and I'm actually I want to make a synthesizer that looks like a tongue. So I'm gonna put some Euro racks and build a sculpture and have it wag. So hopefully in the spring, that's gonna be my primary instrument.
I can't wait to see that.
Yes, please. That. We just well, the good thing is now we're all connected and we're following you. We did put your links. We will make sure that all your links are in the description. So when you go back or when you view it for the first time, you'll have all that. But yeah, please keep us informed, of what you're doing.
Well, yeah, it's so nice to meet you guys.
It was nice meeting you too. Thank you for being a part of this. And this is again, one of the main reasons why we're doing this, to connect and just platform to amazing things. This is awesome. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right. So we have more for you in store. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Who's up next?
I think next we have DJ Cherish the Love.
yes.
Who has
yes.
been a fan of the show since the beginning. So happy to have her on.
New Yorker.
Yeah, a fellow New Yorker. Yeah, New York Modular Society. Battling the snow right now, so I hear, or so I see from the posts. I'll read a little bit about her. Yeah, she's done so much. Featured in HuffPost and NPR Music as a music missionary and rhythm composer. DJ Cherish the Love is a professional DJ, electronic musician, and has produced, composed, DJ'd on 50 shows for Netflix. She's the music director at City Kids Foundation and is the New York City leader for J. Dilla James DeWitt Yancey Foundation. She has and if any of you follow her, you know about this, but she really talks about sound healing and how music and sound have helped her on her personal journey. And I'm sure we'll get into that a bit after the performance, but and we'll we're just happy to have her here, and let's enjoy her performance. And
Yes.
thanks for coming on.
All right. DJ Cherish the Love.
That was excellent.
Yeah.
Absolutely excellent.
Yeah, what a journey.
Yeah.
Cinematic. Definitely cinematic.
Yeah. So the VFX were great.
Yeah. We kept looking above the like I love the stereo panning you had going on in the mixing. We were like, because we have the speakers here, and we're just like we looked up, we could hear the twinkles come over. Tell us about yours. Tell us about what you were doing.
You hear me, right? Like,
Yes.
I'm all
Yep.
okay. So first of all, y'all did me dirty, putting Christy before me.
We believed you could follow it up. We believed in you.
Well,
Yeah.
But listen, everything I was gonna say, like,
Sorry.
yeah, everything I was gonna say, just kind of like left my brain after watching Christy Blizzard. So I had to take notes on my own set. But it makes me want to drink. So first of all, I got some peach and mango.
Peachymango.
Peachymango, a little shout out to Peachymango.
Shout out to Peachymango.
Shout out to Peachymango. We need to spike it with a little Triforce. So, because that last step made me want to drink, let me tell you. So get a little something in me so I could just focus on what I want to talk about in this. So,
All right.
Nice.
thank you for this. I don't know where to begin really, because it's such a complex journey. I think maybe I'll start with just how I would introduce myself. I had it written down. I'm I can't even think because everything has been so wow. So hello, I am DJ Cherish the Love. I am so grateful to everyone here who pulls this together for all of us female and gender DGAF, gender expansive folks, which I love. I ID as she, her, and they as fuck on my best days because my mom had 2 miscarriages before me, and their essences have trickled into me because I was next in line. And can't do anything about that except honor them and let them shine through me. So in that piece, you see there's 3 of me. And when I compose, there tends to be 3 takes or 3 layers. I'll do an individual 1 take of me doing pads, or me doing leads and then percussion. And whenever I have that kind of trifecta, it feels like now I'm really beginning, So it's an honor to have them kind of speak through me and have that freedom and not be weirded out by these conversations of gender expansiveness. And if you can't stand that, then basically you hate Voltron. And you're actually the problem and you need to be destroyed. So I support all of this, and from day one, from minute one over the summer, I don't know where we'd be without this. So thank you, and everyone on the screen here and folks here in the chat, so many friends. I'm not going to talk silver lining because that's corny as fuck, right? But I'm just really grateful, really, really grateful. And the piece that you just saw is dedicated to 3 of my most dear to me sisters: Michelle Moe Kusa, Dina Perlman, Arp, that's it, and Lisa motherfucking Belladonna, who have been so integral for me in the past year and a half of healing through music. And they're there in the chat, and I see you girls, there's just so much that I want to say. I feel getting a little bit emotional, but that's cool. And
Emotions are important.
Yes.
Emotions are important. That's true. And this piece,
Perfect time.
this piece is funny because it basically started with Dina saying, "Oh, you need to check out the ARP string ensemble." So then I told Lisa in the studio, "Hey Lisa, Dina told me I need to check out the ARP string ensemble," and she basically is like, "Oh yeah, you do." turn the stuff on. I'm sitting there, and then I start playing and recording. Just you seeing the stack. It's like I'm not even plugged in live. I'm recording it ambient in the room because there's a lot of speakers there. So it's a bunch of great sounds, and that particular that's an instrument that has been used for like the Buggles, Video Killed the Radio Star, Pink Floyd, Herbie Hancock, Casey and the Sunshine Band. I mean, Dina, you list it. You helped me out here. And when I heard it, it just kind of brought those three parts of me together. And when I heard it in the space, I was like, oh man, this is like, it's really something. So I recorded that and then time traveled to later on when I was back in my studio and built upon that. And that's like part of the journey. You know what I mean? Like I listen back to it, and because it's an ambient recording, honestly, some of my favorite sounds in that is my dog Tonka, her collar is jingling. I hear it in the background. I love that.
Sprinkle that we.
It's like, it's in there somewhere. Then I hear Lisa washing the dishes. I hear like silverware and like the microwave beeping. And then I hear Chantel like text messaging me because I remember like a text came in the middle of recording. And it's you made it in.
Real room.
It totally, you know, and I love that organic.
Accidents.
Totally, it's like part of the beautifully gradual experience of the day and of creating sounds, because I'm trying to be less locked into the DAW, less locked into quantizing, less locked into all the stringent stuff that don't let, you know, all the elements of me breathe. So I was so happy to see in the chat folks noticing how I put things in the space, because I wanted things to breathe. I intentionally put my players in different parts of the grid that's in front of me and behind me, because I feel like that's what makes a really great experience. Like I don't want a stack of pancakes when I'm listening to things. Like I want to eat that. I don't want to listen to that. So thank you for noticing that. And I hope that, you know, the headphones help. So,
yeah, we're definitely going to go back.
Yeah, listen to that later.
For sure.
And we saw that performer in there too.
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah. So
That looks so fun.
Yeah. Great module. Big shout out to Modbat Modular.
totally.
Love him.
Love this. I love it because I'm coming from a DJ frame of mind, right? And this was so integral in the percussion in that recording that you heard. So I got to be very organic about it and listening to myself. So my challenge to myself from here on forever is like constantly listening to myself and jamming with myself. And when you do that, it's like there's no room for like feeling, you know, insecure or whatever, because you're just kind of like playing with yourself. And this is so cool. And I was able to kind of uncover all the nuances. And by the way, in this Black Hole Cases box, so according to Corey, and this is why I have the t-shirt in that video, I was the first customer.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Very first.
I
nice.
saw it and I was like, take my money. I don't need to pay rent. My dog doesn't need to eat. I want this module. So I got it.
It's deceptively deep, which is
it's fantastic.
testing it and doing all this. Yeah, it's opened
Oh,
up.
I love it.
Yeah.
I like that it has nice big buttons. I feel like a big problem I run into a lot of modulars, everything is just small and hard to like use live.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and plus, you know, my hands, like part of this whole healing journey is when I went through chemotherapy 5 years ago for breast cancer, I lost sensation of my hands and my feet.
Oh, wow.
So I have something called chemo-induced peripheral neuropathy. Really sucks being a DJ and not having sensation in your fingertips, which is what happened to me. So in this journey, I have just kind of followed my heart and listened to people around me who I felt like, I think you could be part of my healing. And, you know, this is how I met Lisa and Michelle and Dina. It was all just part of this incredible, it was all unfolding in front of me. I like asked the big ethers for help and it was like, boop, 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 here it is. And there it is, you know? So when I perform, I love to be my own LFO. So on the Sub 37, what I love is a big friggin' filter knob Oh, it's like I feel like that's the instrument right there. Like
Yeah.
I love the knobs, and I don't have nipples anymore, so it's all about knobs. That's what I got. Just like jamming with that. So good. And I find that it is so healing from this kind of like inner core nervous system thing out. And I need that. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you for sharing this. Like,
Yeah. Questions. Ask me all the questions. I have all the answers, I think.
I heard something
Glad someone does.
a track with Chantal, maybe something like that.
yeah, video for
Yeah.
let's
So you want to talk about that, Chantal? We got an
I
announcement.
heard my name, but what are we talking about?
Yeah.
What am I-
So Chantal
what have I
and
been
I.
up
What have you been up to? I don't know.
What have we been up to?
well, let us tell you.
Chantal and I.
Where am I?
Let me point to the right corner of the screen where Chantal is. Okay, for me, she's there. Chantal and I, we're having a baby, a musical baby.
Yeah.
I brought her into a really cool music project for a video game,
Yeah.
and it is launching. I got the final files, and it's coming out in January. It'll be on Spotify. So congrats.
Yeah.
What type
And that is,
can you tell us, or is it like?
yeah, Chantal contributed the very, very cool ambient textural stems to the remix track that I created from all sorts of field recordings.
Yeah, a bunch of from field recordings. I don't remember off the top of my head, but a bunch of random stuff, my
Really good
frying
stuff.
pan cooking and train sounds and stuff.
Yeah. That's a passion of mine, to bring other people that I love and adore into paid projects. I'm saying paid projects. So that is what I want to also impart, that this work that we do can be very much work, and enjoyable, and hear yourself on some platform somewhere, see your name in a credit somewhere, and just feel like I'm not just doing this like in the dark corners of my home, but that you're actually putting it out there in the world. And exploring, sharing yourself that way, and legacy and all this stuff, And of course, we sit and we create all kinds of stuff. It's like, these moments when Chantal delivered that track, it was amazing, because I was like, oh yeah, this is perfect, because I had been working on it, and I was like, it just needs, and then I figured, it's like, I know what it needs. Because sometimes you work on something and you're like, oh, this track is this shit, and then other times it's just like caca. And then sometimes you need like something more.
Something.
You need that something, and that something can be found in these beautiful people around you.
Yeah.
Collaboration, the beauty of collaboration.
Yeah.
I
And another reason why we're here meeting each other, so that we can find connections. Actually, that's how I met Cherish, was through the chat. For the first frequency shift,
I love it.
she said something about well, I don't want to say it because we're going to do this project, right?
Top secret.
Yeah, top secret.
Top secret. Anyway, she like made a funny comment, and I was like, yes, let's do that. And then we just started talking. So it's so fun. Yeah.
There was a question about can you say what game it is, what video game, or what?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Just follow us on Instagram and you'll find out.
We could do like another SoCal thing, and we can then bring it back.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't necessarily been announced yet. Yeah.
I'm excited. It's my first like Spotify credit. It's my first official audio credit out there. So
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
thank you.
That's very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
This frequency shift.
Yeah.
I mean, we say it all the time, but like bringing each other together, but still like, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna shift this paradigm, and we're gonna change the world little by little, and it's gonna start with a trickle and go into a river.
Yeah.
It's like, multiplying opportunities for
Absolutely.
people who have traditionally been left out of a lot of opportunities in music. So
Exactly. And that is where I really feel the most like heart, because with these projects I do with Netflix, for example, like this new show that's coming out on the 22nd, it's London Hughes. I brought in Butterscotch. I just want to bring people who are not as represented, and it's like, here's the platform, let's do it and just make our mark, because damn it,
You're like a frequency
That's
shift
awesome.
ambassador.
That
Totally.
sort of work
We-
is
we-
critical.
We need t-shirts. We need
Yeah.
t-shirts.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I was looking at your logo and I was like, all right, here's the wardrobe. I'll at least wear the tie.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
There we go.
We'll
There we
we'll
go.
get on that. We have SoCal t-shirts. We will definitely make some frequency shift shirts to represent us. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
I'll rock it. You know, I rock the
Sound
t-shirts.
healing.
Yes.
Um,
We are definitely going to continue. I want to again just circle back to our chat and everyone in the chat. Just thank you so much for supporting and being here and being in our synth family. Like one of the great things, and I will say this over and over, is that doing all these live streams throughout this year, and this year went by so fast. But anyway, the connection, it's because of the connection of having this opportunity to do live streams. Like my life, ask me what I was doing last year, was not doing live streams. I was traveling and doing things, but this I'm able to, and I'm sure you are as well, able to meet and chat and talk and get to know so many people from all over the world. And thanks Toon Girl in Germany for my t-shirt, like, you know, but that's the thing. Like I see these names in the chat and I don't know, I just had to say that. A big shout out not only to you and to my wife, Space Racer, but everyone in the chat too. Like I really appreciate being a part of this. Like it's really important to me. So
and
Building
also,
a larger, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, well, I was just going to say, I see Louisa Houseworks in the chat, which reminds me maybe we should mention the second show happening today.
good call. Thank you. Do you do the honors? It's happening. 5 o'clock
Happening at 5.
Standard Time.
That's all I know.
5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We start our second episode of Frequency Shift. It's on the SoCal Synth Society's YouTube channel. And yeah, hopefully we will see all of you in the chat over there. You'll see us. We'll be chatting with you. But
I'll
yeah,
be playing in that one.
and yes.
So, I think we probably need to move on so we can get to that.
Yes.
We
And
would
then
love
we-
to talk to you all day long.
Yes.
But you know what, DJ Cherish?
You have my number.
A, I have your number, and B, let's have you, when we do another frequency shift, we will definitely have you back to host, please.
I'm in.
Okay,
I'm
awesome.
in.
You'd be such an excellent host.
Yeah.
Love
Cool.
you.
All right. Okay.
Right.
Ciao.
Thank you.
All right. So let me see
So
here.
I can tell you about who's up next.
Yes.
Do.
All right.
Thank you.
So Reyna is up next, and I actually specifically requested to introduce Reyna because I saw that in her bio, she wrote that she's a newbie synthesist interested in meditative processes and sounds, and I also consider myself a newbie, and I love getting to share about the experience of getting started in modular and synthesis. So Reyna loves buklas and tape loops and resides in Austin, Texas, mostly spending time tending to her 3-legged cat and 2-legged wife. So can't wait to hear some more from Reyna after the performance about how you got started and how you're feeling and how you're learning stuff. So
Cool. All right. Let's watch your performance.
feel like
It
we
was so beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
picking.
Lovely.
Really, really wonderful.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
can't believe you call yourself a beginner. That was amazing. People
Oh, I
were
feel so much like a beginner.
Like the patience of a master.
That was more-
patience
that
is
was
such a
definitely-
skill.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank y'all. And I want to give a shout out to everybody who performed. I mean, they feel like masters more than I do, I think. Like, everybody's been so amazing so far. It's awesome.
All about learning from each other, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'll take inspiration from each other.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for being on. We're so happy to have you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's a joy.
Can you share with us? Oh, sorry, Chantal.
Yeah,
Did-
no.
Oh, okay. Can you share with us what you were doing in your patch, or just how
Yeah.
you created it, process?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first piece, the horn kind of thing, both patches were very simple. I use a mannequin's mangrove into a filter into rings with an envelope on it. And I really like the mangrove texture into rings because it gives you these kind of otherworldly, like, is it a horn? Is it a flute? Who knows? And then
Right.
just
I love the
sequenced reverb with that is really all that one was. And then the second one was just I had a piano sample on my organelle, and that was going into a mannequin's with, which just that was my tape looper. That's like my sample player tape looper. And I mulched that channel. So I mulched that into 3 different lines. I throw those into a mannequin's cold Mac, which I then throw an individual line into like an arbor, clouds, and magneto. And then I route all those lines back into cold Mac. And then I monitor out of the cold Mac output. And it just gives you these really fun, like, you can kind of crossfade between the effects and then the dry lines. And then cold Mac, I think, is actually like modeled after the 259 sort of modulation bus panel on a Buchla. So when you're sending like kind of sampled and effects in and out of it, it tries to use the same sort of like complex oscillator logic, but it just combines those kind of washy signals and gets these really nice reverb swells and kind of like delay feedback things. And it's with that big knob, it's really fun and performative that way. So yeah, that's it. I think they're very simple patches, but I guess explaining them, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of light.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you're
We're
not
like back to like beginner.
Yeah, I'm like the beginner.
Right.
Yeah.
We could really hear the movement, you know.
I think patches don't have to have like a ton of modules or cables to be deep, and I think that's really what yours are illustrating.
Yeah, I like working with a small setup. I mean, my setup's actually twice the size I originally thought it was going to be. I just have like 2 100 HP cases, and I like kind of working with one case at a time. Like this one was both, but I like small setups. I like having, I normally do very sprawling, kind of lingering generative patches that just like run for weeks, and I'll like just come and sit down an hour at a time or something. But I've been trying to push myself to do like smaller, more performative things that I can interact with. So like, yeah, just mangrove and a filter, and then like tape loop and effects, like kind of trying to, but I like small setups. Yeah.
So question, have you, I know you said you were new with Right. Are you new with in getting into music in general, or is it just getting in with performing with Eurorack?
Yeah, I come from a classical background. I kind of grew up doing the like high school thing. I went to school. I was in a composition program for a very brief time, but it wasn't a setting that like gelled with me. So I got into Eurorack end of June. Yeah, kind of in the middle of the summer. Then finally got a system kind of fully put together by August. And then I did take a class with like Sarah Bell Reed, which was a huge boost to, yeah, she's awesome. And the classes, so I learned a lot through that. But yeah, I don't know. I had a big gap in my music though. It was like I went to college, took like 8 years off, and then I'm just now returning.
God.
It's been good.
Sometimes one needs the time away from something.
Yeah. Hmm.
And you
Absolutely.
retain some of that, once you, especially if you learned it in school.
Yeah.
Once you
Yeah, it's like riding a bike. Some things are just there with you. It's like I'll always have my equilibrium for the balance of whatever it is. So yeah.
So I have a question about a lot of people use the word meditative to describe their sounds just as a descriptor,
Mhm.
but it seems like you have actual what is your experience with meditation, because everyone in the chat and myself, like my body was just
Yeah.
melting, and so I'm curious what your
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have much experience with it. I shouldn't say that. It's a very informal experience with it. I don't necessarily practice one thing or another, but like, I don't know. I just kind of deal with the cocktail of like ADHD, depression, anxiety. And so I just try
Mood.
to kind of find processes in my everyday tasks that are meditative to kind of help ground me in them. And music just is that for me. I just like to sit and listen. Like I said, I kind of do generative patches most of the time, and it's literally like, oh, I can't sleep, so I'm gonna go try to calm my mind for 20 minutes with the patch that's running and just whatever. So it, in that way, I think is like, this was kind of a hurried performance for me. I was like, I kind of want to do like 3 more layers to this, but all right, I'll wrap it up. And but yeah, for me, it is just the listening, and like the horn thing at the beginning. Like I will often start practices with like long tones on an oscillator, just because that's like an exercise I carried from my classical days. And I don't know, I'm like Joanna Brooke and just Pauline Oliveros and all those kind of new agey women who are like, just sit and listen.
Yeah.
That's mine. Yeah.
And somebody had even mentioned it in the chat, like how they were like, I love how she just sits back and listens.
Yeah. So that reminds me, another thing that was going on in the chat was about people mentioning how great that would be on vinyl or tape, and I was thinking, oh, that's so cool. Like, what makes people feel like this? They want this to be something they can hold, and then both of those mediums are more suited to just sitting and just listening.
Yeah.
So really interesting.
Yeah, I like physical mediums for that. I love everything digital too. It's all awesome, but I do like the things that kind of, they have more steps involved, so you kind of have to think about it a little more. I like that kind of stuff. It occupies my brain more.
Yeah.
And I like the texture of those. I've always wanted to record the tape, but I just have no clue how to.
Well, another maybe chance for collab is somehow in the chat here, because people could definitely start on it.
Synth fam. And in fact, I was even commenting in the chat. There's several people in the chat that are also from the Colorado Modular, the Synth Society, and they do a listening party for the band camp. And last month they featured a label, and please forgive me out there if I'm going to say it wrong, but it's spelled SEIL Records.
Sale, I
Sale,
believe.
Records. And when I was listening, I commented to Mono Scene out there that this would definitely fit in that realm with their music, and it's very you should definitely check that out.
Yeah, I definitely will. That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
that sounds very cool.
Yeah. You want to tell us about your cat?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
Sorry,
she's got
great segue. I didn't
yeah, she's got 3 legs. Her name is Tripod. She is right here actually. She's blind recently. She's recently blind. So she works off of echolocation now. She's lovely. She just sits on us, me and my wife, like, because she's blind now, she's super anxious. So she knows where she is when she's like on us. So wherever we're at, she just like works her way to us. And like when I'm sitting at my synth, I sit on the floor, I have like a little pillow and I sit here, and she just like sits on my lap, and she'll hear me plug in a patch cable, and she'll just kind of like reach up and just touch it and be like, yeah, that was a good patch.
Nice. You got the seal of approval from
Katie affirmations.
Yes. Yeah, she's our child and we love her, but she's a terror.
That's awesome.
That's like most female cats, I would say.
I think so.
coming from a veterinarian, by the way. Just
Oh, rad.
They're tough.
Awesome.
They have to be like the fighters and the hunters, like female cats.
Yeah.
They're just tough.
They're tough.
They're queens. So.
Vets hate our cat. The vet hates our cat.
Aw.
She has PTSD, so she has aggression with everyone except us, and everybody is like, "How do you deal with that?" We love her.
So, and so,
she seems very sweet, so maybe.
yeah.
nothing
And do you think the
personal.
your music, like she likes to sit there with you while you're playing, and do you think it also has the same effect on her as far as calming anxiety and?
I wonder that. I think so. I mean, I like to think so, but I do notice a difference with her. Yeah, sometimes it gets scary. I mean, sometimes, you know, it kind of whirls out of control, and she definitely reacts to that. But yeah, I think she does. Especially when we just have it droning, like while we're cooking or something. Like sometimes we'll just have it on the speakers, and yeah, I think it's a familiar element, especially that helps her chill out.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good bonding time too.
Created a nice environment for her.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks
for
y'all.
sharing your music and sharing your story with us, and can't wait to see what you do next. And
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, no,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so much for
much.
having me. It's been amazing seeing everybody. I'm excited for everyone else.
Yeah, I'm excited to go listen to your
God,
track
yeah.
again later, just without any
Aw.
other distractions, and just sit with it.
Appreciate that. Oh, thanks.
I
In
do
fact-
actually want to mention. Oh, sorry. Do you want to mention? Oh,
SoundCloud.
Oh, SoundCloud. So with the last shows for Frequency Shift, we put them on our SoCal Synth Society SoundCloud page. That's a lot of S's. And we are going to put these on there as well. So yes, just kind of want to put that out there. So they will be able to not only watch, but then also listen to the individual performances too. So
Awesome.
nice.
Nice. Excited.
Thanks,
All
Reyna,
right.
for coming on.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much.
Nice meeting you too. All right, we have Calatrix.
We have last for this session, but not least, we have Naomi Mitchell as Panic Hardware. She's a designer, user, and educator of modular synthesizers. She makes the excellent OMI Industries modules. Let's talk a bit more about those later. Yeah, and she performs under a variety of project names, most recently as Panic Hardware. Her work focuses on rhythm and randomness and the interactions between artist and electronics. Yeah, so
All right.
let's give her a listen.
All right.
Panic Hardware.
Yes.
That was intense.
What a way to end it.
Yeah.
Perfect finale.
I love the contrast against the previous piece.
Oh,
Yes.
for sure. For sure.
Wake up.
Yes. Put us in a trance, a meditative state, and then bang us. out.
Bam.
Yeah. Thank you, Panic Hardware.
Yeah, great name for that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
You know, go ahead. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, start.
Well, I mean, there's just so much to say, but like, I mean, Panic Hardware, Naomi, amazing person. Omi Industries owns her own modular company. I know that you.
Yeah, I have 2 of her 3 modules. The dual digital shift register and the Ilyana, both are just incredible. I can't recommend them enough. Especially if you like the Benjamin sound, but you don't want a distinct module for it, get a shift register, and the DDSR is just the best. You turn 4 gates into sequencing an entire drum percussion ensemble. Anyways, yeah.
No, I mean,
And you guys might have heard she popped in the chat, but she's working, so unfortunately she can't join us today for an interview. So we'll just talk about her, and she can we'll praise.
Make her embarrassed.
right. Tell her how awesome she is, because she is. And I just want to say too that Naomi, she is an educator, and she we've done a live stream workshop together, and she did talk about logic modules, and I learned so much from her myself. And we are actually going to do an event coming up. We just wanted to announce that today, and we will post more about it, and I will kind of share an image if you want to kind of.
It's just an intro to synthesis for female and non-binary persons who are interested. It's informal. I think she's going to share the screen in a
If I
second.
can find it.
But hosted by Travarsi and Naomi. It's going to be the 26th of December. You guys see that? So if there's an RSVP, please, we'll give you how do they sign up? How do they RSVP?
Well, basically, we just wanted to show this. I know that Naomi and I are pretty excited about doing this, and we will be posting this tomorrow. But we wanted to just kind of give everybody a little peek about what it's about, and just kind of have this close out the first episode of Frequency Shift. But let's talk about the next episode. Anyone? Brandy?
We
Space
can't
Racer?
wait. We can't wait. We're going to have just another round 2 of amazing performances, interviews. That starts at 5 on the SoCal Synth Society YouTube channel. And so we just wanted to say thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to performers, to our fellow host. Thank you so much to Franck, Peachymango, for giving us this platform. Just, like we always say, we can't do this without you guys. All of the support in the community, and we really do mean that. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And we will see you guys back at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And
Calatrix.
Yes.
I'll be playing.
You'll be playing. Chantal, thank you so much for hosting the segment. And
Thank you.
And yes, thank you.
All right. I'll see you guys in an hour and 20 minutes.
See you.
Frequency Shift.
Frequency Shift on SoCal Synth Society.